Hello, Scorpius Alpha here with another installment of Parasitic Psychosis, Chapter 17, 7 months continuing up to and including the next year. One day, at the station, Luxor Alpha is reviewing cases from within the decade and comes across a case from 2003, one from 2007, and one from 2008. The case from 2008 was involving a middle aged couple who were both shot in the head and dumped in acid but didn't actually go in, instead going only waist deep and already skeletons by the time they were found. The prime suspect was their only surviving son, but there wasn't enough evidence to convict him. However, when he was arrested, he was found with a gun, but it was unregistered, and the suspect claimed it belonged to Zach Phillips, who had died the same day he was arrested. And so the detective concluded that Zach framed him by giving him the gun and then killing himself before he had the chance to be arrested, so he couldn't be pinned to the crime. Luxor thinks differently. He asks if he can take the case and is given the okay to go ahead. He drives over to the state prison and asks for the prisoner. "Who the fuck are you?" he asks when he arrives. "Hi, I am Detective Luxor Alpha. I recently started to investigate a cold case involving your parents, Rob." "Look, I already told the pigs I didn't do it. They disappeared." "Aha, yes, but a gun was in your possession when you were arrested for the crime that you are in jail for now." "So it was a gift that you used to kill your parents." "Sid and Carmela were there too." Shit. "Now what was that?" Luxor looks straight at him. "I didn't say anything." "Oh, okay then. Back into the box then." "Sid Zero and Carmela Chavez. Talk to them. I'm done talking." "Hmm. There may be more to this than we thought." Meanwhile, Sid is getting settled after moving in with Frank and Laura. "Okay, so here's the deal. You're going to sleep on the pull-out couch since the attic is taken by her sister and her sister's boyfriend. The basement is off limits, and you should start looking for a job," Frank tells him. "Why can't I go into the basement?" Sid asks. "That's none of your concern. Is there any jobs around here, like within the blocks, or am I going to have to go clear across town to find one?" "There's a few places looking for help. There's a couple of diners, a supermarket, fast food place. Yeah, you can't go wrong." "Cool." He heads for the door to begin his quest. "Where are you going?" "Looking for a job, like you asked." "Dude, it's 9 at night." "So? Places are still open." "Whatever." He goes to every business and is either told not hiring or maybe. He checks his watch and notices it's 10:30 and places are closing down except for one diner that closes at midnight, called the Last Chance Diner. He shrugs and says, "Fuck it." He walks in and approaches a pink and black haired hostess wearing a white dress. "Excuse me, miss." The hostess turns around and is greeted by a hyperactive gay man with a thin mustache and beard, giant earrings, and drawn on eyebrows. "Hi, my name is Nelson. Welcome. How can I help you?" the hostess says. Um, hi. Can I talk to the owner? You got a little bit of Sid points to his nostril. "Oops, sorry. Pardon me. Oh, being a pig in front of customers. Ugh. Hope Nojrevin doesn't find out. He thinks I quit." He turns around and starts talking to himself as he wipes his nose and turns back around. "Yeah, he's in the kitchen. Hold on, I'll go get him." He leaves the counter and goes to the kitchen, returning with a big burly gold chain wearing older guy. "Can I help you?" the boss asks. "Yeah, I was wondering if you could help someone like me. I don't have the best history, but I need a job." "I see. Come in tomorrow at 2 and let's see how you do and who you are." Um, okay, I'll tell you anything you want to know." "Ever killed anyone?" he asks jokingly. Um, yeah, he says sheepishly. "Jesus, kid, I was kidding." "Hmm. How do I know I can trust you then?" "You're just gonna have to." "We'll see." The next day at 2, Sid shows up for work. "I looked you up, Sid. Quite the history. Come, step into my office." Sid follows him in. "Now, why'd you decide to come here looking for a job?" "Well, with my bad reputation, employers know who I am and what I've done. I'm surprised you didn't." "I don't like the looking to lose." "So, you've been in jail?" "A lot." "Yeah." "Even for murder? I honestly thought you were just trying to make yourself sound tougher." "That was an accident." Can I ask why? I did it in a schizophrenic rage. I didn't mean to kill her. I see. How do I know you won't end up killing somebody while working? I honestly don't know. If nobody sets me off, we should be fine. This is a huge gamble I'm taking. If I do if I do flip out, knock me out with something big and heavy immediately. But I've been keeping up with my medication, and I've had a few bad days, but not to the point where I lose my shit. Well, huge gambles are what I'm good at, so you're going to get a shot. See, I take in a special brand of employee, the ones no one else will hire. Bunch of misfits? Yeah, and I'm king of the misfits. What? You own this place? How? I was part of a gardening ring in Texas, and a bunch of shit went down, and I was relocated in witness protection. My name is Noj Reverend, and that's all you need to know. So you only hire misfits? No, we hire normal people too, but my girlfriend Amelia is in charge of hiring them. I personally hire the weirdos because I can tell who is too weirdo even for this place. Even Nelson? Ha, Nelson. Yes, he's really weird, but he's okay. Got a bit of a coke habit, which can get in the way sometimes. He says he kicked it, but I know he's lying. He was rubbing his nose when he came into the kitchen when you showed up last night. I can't wait to meet the other weirdos. Oh, you're gonna love the night crew you're gonna work with. Night crew? Yeah, you guys are the closers. Normal people during the day, weirdos at night. The system works for everyone. No one's complained yet. All right, let's get you started. They step out of the office and start towards the kitchen when Nojrevan notices a waitress grinding on a customer. Helena! Helena! Tangeray! The waitress stops and turns around. How many times a day do I have to tell you? You did well for a whole week and then relapsed. Sorry, she says. For the record, I wasn't complaining, the customer says. Nojrevan sighs and steps into the kitchen. Ooh, who is that? One of our waitresses, Helena. She's a mentally disturbed ex-stripper who forgets she's not anymore and thinks the whole waitress thing is role play. Calling her by her stripper name snaps her out of it. Sid does his shift and heads to his new home, Frank and Laura's. When he gets to the house, the door is locked, and he hammers on the door. After about 10 minutes, Frank finally lets him in. Dude, what took so long? He steps into the house. Oh, were you guys cleaning or something? That shit is strong, Sid says, repulsed. Yeah, sorry, man, Frank says. Oh, gross. He covers his nose with his shirt. Frank tries his best to cover the smell with sprays. I know you're not cleaning. The house still looks like shit. I know it's meth. I can tell by your customers. Not only that, but you already told me it was. Oh, did we? I forgot. Look, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm just going to smoke my weed and watch TV when I'm home. I'm not even here. You're paranoid. Ah, fuck, I got a bad feeling about this, he says to himself. Don't worry, we're under the radar. We're not going to get caught. I feel like I've heard this before. One day, while Sid is in the kitchen at work, Jay, the cook with long white hair and a bandana, approaches Sid. Hey, man, the pigs are here looking for you, man. What? I didn't do anything. He dries his hands, takes off his apron, leaves the kitchen, heads to the front, and approaches the cops. I swear, I don't remember doing anything. Sounds like a guilty conscience. You're wanted for questioning, a cop tells him. For what? I've been working this entire time. Something that happened 6 years ago. Come on, we're heading to the station. I think I know what you're talking about. I'll tell you all I know, but I wasn't there the entire time. I always knew this day was going to come. We'll talk down there. Come on. They head to the station and into the interrogation room where Luxor is waiting. Sid walks in and Luxor closes the door, and as they begin the conversation. This is regarding your involvement with the murder of Rob, Luxor starts. Rob's parents? Yes, don't interrupt, he says, annoyed. Sorry. Anyway, it was found that he may have killed his parents with a shot to the head and sloppily tried to dispose of the bodies, and he claims that you and one other person may have been involved as accomplices. All right, so here's what I know. We were living with Zach and Brian at the time, and we were told we had to move out. So he told me he was moving back into his parents' house. Who are Zach and Brian? Zach and Brian were a couple of big time drug dealers. Brian dropped out of the game after some sort of disagreement with Zach and focused on raising a family with my brother's ex and apparently my ex's second boyfriend. Anyway, he's dead. He's the guy who overdosed and got a face full of glass. Zach killed himself in the middle of getting arrested. That's two lowlifes down. Okay, so you were getting kicked out and decided to move in with Rob at his parents' house. How did this lead to them getting killed? He told me he was about to come into some money, a car, and a house practically overnight, and tells me that Zach gave him a going away present. The gun that was found in his possession when he was arrested in the drug bust slash murder of your ex slash overdose media field day. I bet you guys look like fucking heroes that day. Do not get smart with me. Get back to the story. You guys go straight to the house while he has the gun? Yeah, we went to Zach's to his parents' house, and he goes into the garage and takes an aluminum baseball bat and heads into the living room, walks upstairs into his bedroom, and bashes his dad's head in, making sure he wouldn't wake back up, but not killing him. He takes the bat and washes it off, and I told him he was insane. He swore me to secrecy and threatened to kill me if I told anybody. So why are you telling us? Because if it means conviction, I hope he fries. Why? Well, he killed his parents solely for greed. Rather than try to make himself some sort of life, he resorted to killing his parents to earn a shitload of money, a car, and a house. He blew all the money in less than a year on drugs and abortions for Carmela, rather than fixing the house like he said he would, not giving a shit about anybody. It's not the first instance of this psychopathic serial killer tendencies either. Ask him about the redhead in the dumpster or the bloody knife you may or may not have found when you searched his house. Wow. What happened next? I told him I was out. I wasn't going to be a part of it. He told me to start packing my things to keep me occupied while he did his deed. That's also when he threatened me and told me he was going to get Carmela to help him instead. We went downstairs. He dragged his father down the stairs, leaned him against the couch, and started to walk toward his mother and swing the baseball bat. I assume he repeated the process. At that point, I had already left the house. What happened when you returned? We just never talked about it after that. Is that all? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for all the information. You will receive a subpoena when the trial begins, and you are required to take the stand. Yeah, sure. He checks his watch. Can I go back to work now? Sure. They give him a ride back to the restaurant, and he goes back to the kitchen. Hey, man, are you in trouble, man? Jay asks. Nah, but somebody is. It better not be me. I haven't done anything in years, says Ernie, a guy with short black hair and a porn-style mustache with matching sideburns says. I moved to this area specifically because there are no hookers here. Calm down. It's actually a guy I grew up with that's in a heap of trouble. Zero. I saw the spectacle you caused in the restaurant. Why did those cops take you? Joe, a bald ex-Marine who was also one of Sid's bosses, yells to Sid drunkenly. I swear I'm not in trouble. I don't care. Go the fuck home and don't come back for a couple of days. But now! Sid turns around and leaves and heads home, where he runs into somebody leaving Frank and Laura's house as he goes in. Sid, you're home early, Frank says. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be home for a few days, Sid says. Whatever. Whatever then. He sits on the couch and packs a bowl. Meanwhile, Carmela is sitting in jail when the cops stop by her cell. You're wanted for questioning, the officer says. About what? She asks. Your boyfriend. He leads her to a room where Luxor is waiting. He lets her in and closes the door behind them and begins the conversation. This is about the murder of your boyfriend's parents about 6 years ago. Oh, I knew this day would come back to haunt me. Would you like to tell me about it? No. No, why not? Because I love Robbie and I would never, ever rat him out. Guess what? Sid already told us everything. Your boyfriend's goose is cooked. So tell me your side of the story and you will not be charged with accessory to murder. But he won't love me anymore. He is never getting out. And by the time you do, you will be old and he will still be in jail. What are you holding on to? Fine. I'll tell you, but I'm going to hate myself for the rest of my life, but I'll tell you since it doesn't matter now. Sid betrayed all of us. If Robbie ever gets out, I hope he kills Sid. One more outburst like that, and you will go back to your cell until you cooperate. All right, fine. I was home, locked in my room after fighting with my mother when Robbie sends me a text to come to his house. So naturally, I snuck out the window as usual, unlocking my door first so I could get back in when I got back, and told me he found a way we could finally live together. I was so excited I rushed over, and when I got there, I kinda wish I hadn't. Tell me what happened when you arrived at the house. I got there and I saw his dad slouched on the couch and his mom naked, lying on the floor, bleeding. I asked if he killed them and he said they weren't dead yet, just unconscious. Then he rolled his mother in a sheet and loaded her in the trunk. Then he dragged his dad off the couch and I had to help heave him into the trunk. Still feel dirty to this day from it. He closed the trunk, and then when we went back into the house and cleaned up the mess the best he could, grabbed the keys and started the car. That's when he told me we were going for a ride. And where exactly did you go? We went to the industrial part of the city where the toxic waste dump is, where all the neighborhoods got shut down, and went to the river and dumped me and parked the car. He was excited it was late outside and not many lights are over there. He looked like a kid in a candy store. He pulls the bodies out of the trunk, puts them in a kneeling position, and shoots them directly in the back of the head, where he marked the X on their heads, where the holes were. Their faces hit the water and slowly started to burn. I was so grossed out. What happened to the bullets? Oh, that's right. He pulled the bullets out of their skulls with a pair of pliers and threw them in the sewer grate. So, how did you guys know they were shot? There were still fragments in the holes in their skulls, and ballistics matched. Oh, so he would have been busted no matter what? Yes, now continue. Oh, right. So he kicked both of their bodies into the water and watches them sink a little before getting in the car and taking us home. What happened when you got home? Did you talk at all about what had just occurred? A little bit. I told him I couldn't believe I just watched him kill his parents, and he said if I ever said anything, I'd join them. I was horrified that the man I loved so much told me he would kill me to protect himself. I asked if he was serious, and he told me that he was going to tell me the same thing he told Sid, that we were in it until the end. Well, this is the end. Thank you. You will receive your subpoena prior to your appearance in court, and then we will discuss your criminal case, pending sometime between now, the middle, or after your boyfriend's case, whenever we have the time. Criminal case? Oh, yes. You are an accessory. Though with the information you provided, there is a chance they may feel generous and let you off easy. But do not hold your breath. Anyway, have a nice day. But goodbye. And she's led back to her cell. Luxor decides to pay Rob a visit. What the fuck do you want? I took your advice and talked to your friend and girlfriend. Whoa, Sid's not my friend anymore. He's a backstabber. Clearly. Rob, they took me through that fateful day, step by step. Let me hear your version. Fuck. What if I don't say anything? We do have enough evidence to convict. If you do not want a chance to tell your side of the story, why you did it, maybe there is justifiable cause. I do not know. So are you going to talk, or should we begin court proceedings? Fine. They get into an interrogation and begin the conversation. You are quite in a heap of trouble here, Rob. Oh well, I'm already in prison. It's not like I'm scared to go to jail. This is a lot more serious than you think. You have been linked to the gun news, detailed accounts of how you did it, and the physical evidence to prove it. How? There were no bullets! The fragments left in the skulls told us everything we needed to know. Damn, I knew I forgot something. I couldn't remember what it was, but I figured it wasn't that important. Shit. I'm already in jail for 25 to life. How much worse can it get? Anything is possible in this state. Now, why did you kill your parents? They were neglectful and inebriated pieces of shit. I was broke, needed money and a car and a place to live, but I hated my parents. That's when Zach gave me the bright idea on how to kill my parents and get away with it. Meanwhile, getting an entire lump sum of assets all at once. I could live with my girlfriend and buy all the drugs I wanted. It was so great while it lasted. He sighs and looks at the ceiling, reminiscing. Hey! Luxor snaps his fingers and Rob jolts back to reality. Were you just daydreaming? Yeah, man, some good times. You are a sicko, you know that. Yeah, it's one of the things I'm good at. I almost got away with murder. Not many people can say that. Have you ever killed anyone else? Now, what would make you ask a question like that? Well, it is because one of your sources told me to ask you about the dumpster and the bloody knife. Well, honestly, with the knife, I don't know what I stabbed. And the girl in the dumpster, I only remember the aftermath. Do you have a history of mental illness? Yes, I have a mess of different disorders. Being in jail was the first time I was put back on my medication since I was a kid. I see. So when you become the other Rob, you are what? Violent? No, it usually depends on how my day is going. The day the redhead died in the dumpster, I remember I was pissed and hunting Sid down because he had stolen 2 bags of heroin from me. As I was walking down the street, I see this really hot redhead walking by, and the next thing I know, my pants are halfway down and she's in pieces in the dumpster naked. I booked it home as fast as I could and went back to the party. See, my other side works on two extremes. If I'm having a good, normal day, I end up stealing Carmela a bunch of flowers or candy or something by the end of the day. If I'm having a bad day, that's when the monster occurs. So how did it cross over to the other side? What do you mean? Killing consciously? I don't know. It just kind of happened. How did it make you feel? Powerful. I think we are done here. We will set a trial date and get the ball rolling. Yay, more shitstorm, Rob says sarcastically. Rob goes back to his cell and Luxor goes back to his office. Meanwhile, Sid is at Frank and Laura's miserable. A steady flow of people come in and out all day for meth. Sid just keeps to himself and avoids much contact with him as possible. One day, James and Karen come downstairs and immediately yell at Frank and Laura because the smell has finally reached the attic. What do you want? Frank asks. At first, the smell wasn't too bad. You said you'd keep it contained. I told you to fan that shit out the window, James said. Hey, man, we're trying. James walks to the basement and Frank follows. James sees only one fan blowing. You need more fans, dude. They walk past Frank and Laura's room and there is a faint humming. James pushes open the door and there's about 4 or 5 fans around the room, keeping the room from smelling. Dude, it would make more sense to put those downstairs. No. No, dude. If you put the fans by the source, it won't travel through the house. Get your own fucking fans, asshole. What the fuck did you just say to me? Frank punches James in the face and they begin a fist fight. Laura and Karen run over to see the commotion and Frank accidentally punches Karen in the face. So James punches Frank, Laura punches James, then Karen punches Laura, and a four-way battle ensues. Frank and Laura versus James and Karen. Frank versus James, Laura versus Karen, James versus Laura, and Frank versus Karen. The ensuing fight continues for a good 10 minutes before Sid decides they've had enough and breaks up the fight. A few days later, James and Karen move out and Sid takes the attic. They get more fans for the basement and it alleviates a good portion of the smell. Rob's trial, near the end. Rob is sitting in court waiting for the witnesses to take the stand. Carmela Chavez, could you please approach the stand? The judge asks. Carmela sits down and waits. The prosecution starts. Carmela, if you could please tell us what happened on that night involving your boyfriend, Robert Surface. He called me over to his house and told me I could live there forever if I helped him with something. And what was that something? To help him transport his parents so that he could kill them. Where did you go to transport them? To the industrial part of the city, by the toxic waste dumps. How did he kill them? He shot them both in the back of the head while they were in a kneeling position. What happened after he killed them? He threw them in the water and we went home. Did you two talk about what happened after you got home? For a little bit, but not for long because he said... She starts crying. He said he'd kill me. Nothing further, Your Honor. The defense approaches. Miss Chavez, isn't it true that you're the niece of the famous Carlos Bergsoff from the Bergsoff case that you and your boyfriend are both currently in jail for? Yes. So you're good at hiding secrets. Objection! The prosecuting lawyer yells. Relevance. I'm just speculating that maybe she's covering up a part she had a hand in. That's all. Given the family she comes from, I'm just seeking credibility. Overruled, the judge says. No further questions, Your Honor. You bitch! You sold me out! How could you? I thought you loved me! Rob yells. I'm sorry, Robbie. I didn't feel like I had much of a choice. Order! Order! The judge bangs the gavel. I'm so sorry. I love you, she says through tears as she is led back to her seat. Sid Zero, will you please take the stand? The judge asks. Sid takes a seat and waits. The prosecution starts. Mr. Zero, could you describe to us what Rob Surface did on that night in 2008? He told me that he planned to kill his parents and asked me to help him. I refused and he sent me to pack my stuff so I could move in with him. I needed a place to stay. He was my best friend, but I've been in enough trouble to not help with a murder. He told me if I told anyone, he'd kill me. No further questions. The defense approaches. Mr. Zero, you have quite the criminal history. Unfortunately, yes, I do. Bunch of petty crimes, nothing too serious. Oh, wait, that's right. You were arrested for murder. Double homicide, if I remember correctly. I know, I'm still on parole for that. Yeah, by pleading insanity, the lawyer says sarcastically, because I have an actual condition. So does my client, Your Honor, which is why we would also like to plead insanity. My client has multiple personality disorder, which happens to cause him to kill under times of extreme stress or anger, which is the case here. That would have worked if he had not told me he doesn't remember two of his three murders, but he was fully aware for his parents. He wanted it done, so he made sure he wanted to do it right. I've been his friend since we were kids, and I know how he works. I can confirm that allegation. Look, Luxor interjects. As I was interrogating him, he confirmed that he was fully aware of what he had done. No further questions. You bastard! I knew you'd betray me, Rob says as he stares Sid down as he walks by him, also staring. When the trial ends, Rob learns that he is to be executed by lethal injection in 6 months. The day before he gets his final day and Carmela is visiting. I can't believe you're gonna die tomorrow, Robbie, Carmela says. I can't believe you sold me out. They told me it didn't matter if I lied or told the truth. They were gonna find out the truth anyway, but I didn't know this was gonna happen. Well, looks like life handed me a bag of shit. You know, because it's my final day, I'm allowed a conjugal visit. Half an hour leave, they leave. Half an hour later, they leave the room buttoning their jumpsuits. Oh, babe, that was well needed. I agree. Hey, I have an idea. What? Why don't you come with me? What do you mean? Like Romeo and Juliet. Kill myself? Then we can be together forever. I don't know. Wait, no, just no. But I thought you loved me. I do, Robbie. Then why don't you? Because I don't want to die yet. But then you wouldn't have to live without me. I. I. They are split up as her time has run out. I love you! She is replaced by Sid. What the hell are you doing here? Saying goodbye to my former best friend, Sid says. Yeah, well, fuck you. I hope I see you in hell. Why, so I can fuck you some more? No, what the hell does that mean? So you can spend an eternity getting constantly dicked over by a bunch of demons that look like me and make you feel as much like shit as everyone who you were a bastard to your entire life. All the while constantly being reminded that I'm the one who put you there. Get the fuck out of my face. Fine, see ya. Sid leaves the prison and goes home and is replaced by Marissa. Who in the hell are you? You don't remember me? She asks. Nope, not a clue. Wow, looks like the drugs did fry your brain. Look, are you going to tell me why you're here or not? I don't remember ordering a prostitute, he starts to say to himself. Marissa, don't you remember me, Rob? We went to school together. We used to be best friends. Me, you, Kelly, Rob, and Sid. Oh, that's right. You were that fat bitch who used to nag us all the time. Now I remember. Yeah, you're a bitch. Why are you so cruel, Robert? Because I can be. It's fun. It's the ultimate rush. He turns around and punches the wall. With his hand bleeding, he turns around and faces Marissa again. Any more questions? Are you proud of yourself? Yes. Live fast, die young, and fuck over everybody on the way. Life is overrated. I can't wait for tomorrow. Have you always been this fucked up? Yeah, I have. Well, I'm gonna leave now. I hope you. I. She turns around and leaves. The next day, Rob is waiting to be executed. The room is filled with an eerie silence. The tools laid across the table can only mean one thing. He lies strapped to the bed, sweating from the heat. He's been there for hours. It felt like days. Suddenly, he hears voices outside the door. The door opens. An unknown man dressed in a white lab coat, face mask, and glasses comes in, looks at his clipboard, then to Rob. The man moves over to the tools, picking up each, feeling the weight until he comes along a syringe. He picks it up and taps it. He looks at Rob lying in the bed with a vitriolic look in his eyes.
This will only hurt a little.
The man slowly brings the needle to Rob's arm, then stops. He tells the attendants to leave the room. He then locks the door behind him and walks over to Rob, whose eyes are widening in fear as he knows the end is here. Rob struggles to get free and is about to scream when the man crams a towel in his mouth, which Rob spits out. "Fuck you," he says.
Shh. I told you, this will only hurt a little.
The man grabs the syringe and drives it into his neck, pulling the plunger. Rob slips peacefully into death, a wicked grin frozen on his face as his last thoughts are those of the terrible deeds he's done in the course of his lifetime. And that is the end of chapter 17. If you like the story so far, please subscribe.